Darling, I sold the old house. $10 million. The money is all here.
That is wonderful. How do you plan to use it?
These years have not been easy for our children. The money we save should go to them first. They need it more than we do.
You are a good man, Harold. I will go and call them and bring them over.
I have told you to stop disturbing the peace of my family. Stop showing up at my door. I am not disturbing anyone. I only came to give my son a message about his father's health.
Mom?
Obey Jennifer. She makes decisions in this house. I am not a child anymore, and I am busy with my family. Call my brother. Maybe he is free.
Your father has not been feeling well. He gets out of breath after just a few steps, and I need you to come with us to the hospital.
Mom, I have a serious appointment today. My wife's family is arriving at the airport. When I come back, I will come and see him later.
So your wife's family at the airport is more important than your father's health, Mom?
It is what it is. I have a serious appointment.
Your father has not been well lately. He loses his breath after just a few steps. I want you to come to the hospital with us today.
Mom, I am going to work. When I come back this evening, I will come and visit.
So your work is more important than your father's health?
Mom, please understand, it is just work. He will be okay until this evening.
My husband is not feeling well. He needs someone to take him to the hospital. I do not know who else to ask.
Let me grab my keys. I will take him right now. Where is he? Please show me where he is right now.
I am coming. Please wait just a moment. I will take you to him right away.
My husband sold our house for $10 million and said every cent should go to our children. He said these years have not been easy for them. He said the money we saved should help them first. That was the kind of man Harold was. That was always the kind of man Harold was. Drop your city and state in the comments right now, because I need every wife and every mother watching this to hear what our children did when their father could not breathe. My name is Margaret Holloway. I am 69 years old. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Harold and I built everything we had over 43 years of marriage. We did not come from money. We came from work, early mornings and late nights, and the particular stubbornness of two people who refused to let circumstances define them. We raised 3 children in a house we bought in 1984. We put all 3 through college. We paid for 2 weddings. We gave loans we never asked back for. We showed up for every graduation and every crisis and every Sunday dinner for 4 decades. When Harold sold the old property last year, the number came back at $10 million. He sat beside me on our sofa with the bank document between us, and he said the money should go to the children first. I looked at my husband, and I thought about how many men in this world would have said that. Not many. I called all 3 children and asked them to come over. They came for the money. They smiled the right smiles and said the right things and left with checks that changed their lives. None of them said you should keep some for yourselves. Not one. 7 months later, Harold started getting breathless. Not dramatically, just quietly. A few steps to the kitchen, and he needed to sit down. Walking to the mailbox, and his hand would go to his chest. I watched it happen over 3 weeks before I understood it was not going away on its own. I went to my son first. His wife Jennifer opened the door and threw water in my face before I could finish my sentence. She told me to stop disturbing her family. My son appeared behind her and told me to obey his wife. He said she makes the decisions in his house. Then he closed the door. I stood on that step with water on my face, and I thought about the check Harold had signed for that house. The down payment we had given them 18 months earlier. I went to my older son next. He stood in his doorway and told me his wife's family was arriving at the airport. He said he had a serious appointment. He said maybe when he came back. Have you ever asked your child for something truly important and been told maybe when I come back? Comment below. Because that sentence has a particular weight when your husband is sitting at home losing his breath. I went to my daughter. She was already dressed for work. She looked at her phone while I was talking. She said, "Wait until it gets really serious." I looked at my daughter, the girl I had sat up with through every fever and every heartbreak and every hard night of her childhood. Wait until it gets really serious. I walked home. Harold was in his chair. His color was wrong. I knew. I went next door. Our neighbor's son Marcus was painting the fence. 26 years old. Paint on his hands and his clothes. Working like a man who understood the value of an honest morning. I told him Harold was not well. Marcus put his brush down before I finished the sentence. He said, "Where is he?" and he was already moving toward my front door. He carried Harold to his car. He drove to the hospital. He sat in that waiting room for 4 hours while the doctors worked. He called me every 30 minutes with updates. He did not leave until the doctor came out and told us Harold was stable. Harold had a heart blockage. The doctor said another hour at home and the outcome would have been very different. Marcus sat in a hospital waiting room for 4 hours for a man who was not his father. My children did not come until the following morning, when they heard Harold was stable. They arrived with flowers and apologies and the particular brightness of people performing concern for an audience. Harold looked at each of them from his hospital bed. He did not say anything for a long time. Then he looked at me. And I knew we were thinking the same thing. The week after Harold came home, I sat at the kitchen table with our lawyer. I told him we needed to update our will. Harold sat beside me. He did not argue. He did not ask me to reconsider. He just nodded slowly and said, yes, it is time. Our 3 children will each receive $1. A symbolic acknowledgement that they are our children and that we know who they are. Marcus will receive the remainder of our estate. The man who put down his paintbrush without hesitation. The man who drove Harold to the hospital. The man who sat in that waiting room for 4 hours. The man who called me every 30 minutes so I would not have to be afraid alone. My children found out last month. The calls came in fast. Tears, explanations, promises to do better. Jennifer called me 3 times. I did not answer. Harold is recovering well. He walks to the mailbox and back every morning. Marcus walks with him every morning, without being asked. So tell me honestly, if your children took everything you gave them and then told you to wait until it gets really serious when their father could not breathe, what would you have done? Would you have forgiven them and kept the will as it was? Or would you have sat down at that kitchen table and done exactly what we did? Comment below. And if someone has ever shown up for you without hesitation when your own family could not be bothered, write, I understand. And if you believe that loyalty is the only inheritance that truly matters, type loyalty in the comments. Share this story with every parent who has ever given everything and been told to wait. Because Harold Holloway gave his children $10 million. And a young man with paint on his hands gave Harold his life.